Martin Luther King Jr. was born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia. His father was a highly respected pastor. At birth, his name was actually Michael King, but after a trip to Germany, his father was so inspired by the great reformer Martin Luther that he changed both his and his son's name to Martin Luther King. He grew up in a stable middle-class family, but the world outside was far from kind to him. When Martin was only 6 years old, he faced the bitter reality of segregation for the first time. His best friend was a white boy, but when they reached school age, the boy's father forbade them from playing together simply because Martin was black. Martin went home crying to his mother, who told him something that stayed with him forever. "Son, never forget that you are just as good as anyone else." This moment ignited the flame of justice in his heart. Martin was incredibly gifted from a young age. He completed his schooling so quickly that he skipped 2 grades and entered Morehouse College at the age of 15. He went on to study theology and eventually earned his PhD from Boston University. Dr. King didn't just study religion, he deeply researched world philosophers. It was here that he discovered Mahatma Gandhi's principles of nonviolence and Satyagraha, which became the foundation of his life's work. While studying in Boston, he met Coretta Scott, a talented singer and activist. They married in 1953 and had 4 children: Yolanda, Martin Luther King III, Dexter, and Bernice. Coretta was more than just his wife. She was his greatest strength, standing by him through every protest, threat, and triumph throughout the movement. In 1955, an incident in Montgomery, Alabama, changed Martin's life and the world forever. A black woman named Rosa Parks refused to give up her bus seat to a white man. Martin was chosen to lead the Montgomery Bus Boycott, which lasted 381 days. Despite receiving death threats and having his house bombed, he remained firm in his commitment to nonviolence. Eventually, the Supreme Court ruled that segregation on buses was unconstitutional. This was his first major victory. In 1963, Dr. King led a massive march on Washington, D.C., where more than 250,000 people gathered. Standing before the Lincoln Memorial, he delivered his world-famous "I Have a Dream" speech. He dreamed of a day when his children would be judged not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. His efforts led to the Civil Rights Act of 1964, and that same year, at just 35, he became the youngest person at the time to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. Martin Luther King Jr. knew his life was in danger, but he refused to be silenced by fear. On April 4, 1968, while standing on the balcony of a motel in Memphis, Tennessee, he was shot and killed by an assassin named James Earl Ray. At only 39 years old, the messenger of peace was gone. His death sparked riots across the U.S., and the world mourned a leader who had won the greatest of battles without ever picking up a weapon. Today, Martin Luther King Jr. is regarded as the architect of modern America. His birthday is a federal holiday in the U.S., an honor usually reserved for presidents. He remains a symbol of hope for billions worldwide fighting for equality and justice. Just as Babasaheb Ambedkar gave dignity to the marginalized in India, Dr. King gave that same pride and voice to the oppressed in America. What made Martin Luther King Jr. truly unique was his unwavering commitment to nonviolence. While many leaders of his time advocated for any means necessary, King insisted that hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. He drew a direct line from the teachings of Jesus Christ to the strategic nonviolence of Mahatma Gandhi. By choosing to be beaten and jailed without fighting back, he showed the world the moral bankruptcy of racism. This philosophy didn't just change America. It inspired movements in South Africa, Eastern Europe, and beyond. The road to justice was not always smooth, even within his own community. In his later years, King faced criticism from younger, more radical activists who felt his non-violent methods were too slow. At the same time, he was under constant surveillance by the FBI, led by J. Edgar Hoover, who viewed him as a threat to national security. Despite being harassed, wiretapped, and blackmailed by his own government, King refused to stop his mission. He began to speak out not just against racism, but against poverty and the Vietnam War, showing that his vision of justice was universal. The night before he was assassinated, King gave one of the most chilling and prophetic speeches in history. In a crowded church in Memphis, he seemed to acknowledge his own mortality. He told the crowd, "I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we, as a people, will get to the promised land." It was as if he knew his time was running out, but he was at peace because he knew the movement he started was now unstoppable. Dr. King did not bury his dream. It planted it in the hearts of millions. Today, the Lorraine Motel, where he was shot, has been turned into the National Civil Rights Museum. Every year, people from all over the world visit his memorial in Washington, D.C., which stands as a towering stone of hope carved out of a mountain of despair. His life serves as a permanent reminder that one person with a voice and a moral compass can indeed change the course of history for the entire human race. If you're inspired by Dr. King's legacy, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel, where I'm dedicated to bringing you the true stories behind the powerful life and journey of Martin Luther King Jr. Don't forget to hit the bell icon and share this video to help keep the dream alive. Thanks for watching.